Hello, fellow students of linguistics. Today we're talking about the difference between speech and language. In everyday conversation, these two terms are often used interchangeably. However, in the branch of applied linguistics called speech-language pathology, this is a critical distinction to recognize. After all, if speech and language both meant the same thing, the phrase speech-language pathology would be pretty redundant, wouldn't it? So let's start with the term language. Language refers to the shared system of symbols and meaning that we use to communicate with one another. It involves knowledge of words, what they sound like, how they're spelt, what parts they're made of, how they fit into coherent and grammatical sentences, what they mean, how or when to use them, and what they might imply to the listener. Speech, on the other hand, is one way of expressing language. It involves the articulation of speech sounds using the vocal tract, the way that they're voiced, and the rhythm at which they're produced. Now, this is important from a speech-language pathology perspective because language disorders and speech disorders differ greatly in terms of their causes and methods of treatment. To highlight the difference between speech disorders and language disorders, let's look at some examples from pop culture. In the 2010 Oscar award-winning film The King's Speech, the titular king suffers from a stammer, which disrupts the flow of his speech. The film follows his journey to overcome this impediment with the help of his dedicated yet unconventional therapist.
So, when you talk to yourself, do you stammer?
Of course not.
Well, that proves that your impediment isn't a permanent part of you. What do you think was the cause?
I don't know. I don't. Yeah. I stammer. But no one can fix it.
Would you consider this a speech disorder or a language disorder? It is definitely a speech disorder. The king knows exactly which words he wants to say and has no problem reading from his script. It is producing the speech fluently and with the desired rhythm that gives him trouble.
Well done, my friend.
Thank you.
Now, let's look at another example from the Canadian comedy show Trailer Park Boys. The character Ricky often has difficulty reading and famously mixes up popular idiomatic expressions.
It doesn't take rocket appliances to realize all you gotta do is...
Do you have a search warranty? What, do you own space? No, NASA does.
Exactly. Get two birds stoned at once.
Does Ricky potentially have a speech disorder or a language disorder? Although the show often makes light of Ricky's lack of book learning, he is portrayed as a clever person. He's often able to outsmart law enforcement and a wide variety of other equally flawed antagonists. Ricky seems to suffer from a general learning disability which results in a number of language deficits, mostly related to vocabulary.
What if he has rabies? Ricky, it's rabies with a B, not rabies.
Morphology.
It's an aptitude test.
Suitability test, Ricky.
Well, I'll wear a suit if I have to, I don't care.
And speech perception.
Like little Piranhagus! It's piranha, Rick. That's what I said, Piranhagus!
Hopefully that clarifies the important distinction between speech and language. If you can think of any other interesting examples of speech and language disorders portrayed in movies or TV shows, please share them in the comments. For more tutorial videos like this one, check out the Brock Linguistics YouTube channel. And as always, thanks for taking the time to listen and learn. See you next time.